Tonight we counted the 31st day of Sfirat HaOmer. Tomorrow night will be the 32nd day, and Monday night will be Lag BaOmer. So I thought that it's the right time to make a small video to let people know what this whole concept of Lag BaOmer is about. The Gemara tells us that Rabbi Akiva had, in his younger days, 24,000 great students who had received Torah from him on the highest level. And because they didn't honor one another properly, some opinions say they even had hatred for one another. They had lots of ego involved in their learning. And as a result, Hashem punished them, and they perished between Pesach and Pros HaAtzeret, which means till Lag BaOmer. That's how it works out. On Lag BaOmer, they stopped dying. So the Rama in the Shulchan Aruch says that since on Lag BaOmer they stopped dying, so Marbim bo k'sat simcha. It's a slightly happy day. So we don't say Tahanun, etc. The Ashkenazim start haircuts on Lag BaOmer, the Sfardim the next day on Lamed Daled LaOmer. So there's a very big question, and the great Hachamim, the Poskim, ask it. One of them is the Pri Hadash. What's there to be happy about? Everyone died, all the 24,000. If 23,000 died and 1,000 were left, if 500 remained, if 100 remained, if 10 remained, so we can say, wow, Baruch Hashem, the plague ended and 10 are left, 5 are left, 1 is left, let's be happy. But if everyone died, what's there to be happy about? There was no one else to die. That's it, the 24,000 died. So why do we say that it's a day of happiness? Because they stopped dying. Everyone died. So the Pri Hadash hints that the answer is in the writings of the Arizal. And he hints at the answer, which is that the Simcha of Lag BaOmer is really not about the fact that the earlier students stopped dying. It's because on this day, Rabbi Akiva gave smicha and endorsed as rabbis 5 new students of his: Rabbi Nehemiah, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and Rabbi Meir Bar Anes. And the happiness is because on this day they got smicha, and that's why we have a Lag BaOmer. To make it understood better, the Gemara says that when the 24,000 students of his younger days perished, Haya olam shamim, the world was desolate. No Torah in the world. Like the Torah, the world lost all the Torah with these 24,000 students dying. So what does this mean? It means that each one of these students had received from Rabbi Akiva a certain section, a certain area of his wisdom. We know that Rabbi Akiva, היה דורש כתרי אותיות. Not only he would explain the pesukim, the verses, not only he would explain each word, not only he would explain each letter, but even the crowns on the letters he would explain. And how many explanations did he have for each crown? So it says in the Midrash, Otiyot Rabbi Akiva, 365 hidushim on each crown. In the Torah, there's thousands and thousands of crowns. The letters Shatnes Getz have 3 crowns each. The letters Berek Haya, 1 crown each. Today a computer can count them for you. We're speaking about thousands and thousands of crowns. And on each crown, he had 365 new interpretations. And of these, of his great wisdom, he imparted to his students, each one a certain section, which was meant that they would transmit it to the coming generations. So obviously, now that on Lag BaOmer, he gave smicha, he endorsed his 5 new students, that it's a day of happiness. The world was desolate, no Torah, darkness. All of a sudden he took these 5, endorsed them, made them Rabbanim, and from then onwards there was a continuity of the Torah and the light in the world. In fact, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, Amar Rabbi Yohanan, any Stam Mishnah, when it has a name, okay, that's the one who said it. Any Stam Mishnah where there's no name mentioned is Rabbi Meir. Stam Tosefta, Rabbi Nehemiah. Stam Safra, Rabbi Huda. Stam Sifri, Rabbi Shimon. And all of them in according to Rabbi Akiva. So in other words, Rabbi Akiva gave them different sections of the Torah. And the Hachamim are telling us that all the Torah Shebe'al Peh, all the oral tradition that we have today in our hands, the Talmud, Babli, Yerushalmi, the Medrashim, the Safra, Sifri, Mechilta, everything, the Medrashim and the Zohar, are all from these 5 students of Rabbi Akiva. Everything came from them to the world. So they 5 students transmitted all the oral tradition we have today. Can you imagine if 24,000 students had transmitted what they had received from Rabbi Akiva? And how much we lost. So the Arizal explains this is the reason for Lag BaOmer. Since on this day Rabbi Akiva gave smicha, he endorsed these 5 students as rabbis and gave continuity to the Torah forever. In other words, Lag BaOmer is a form of Kabbalat Torah on Har Sinai. Some opinions hold, not the most reliable, that Lag BaOmer is the Yom, that is the day that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai passed away. And on the day that a tzaddik dies, you make a Hilula, you make a happy occasion. So many of the Gedolim oppose this opinion totally. First of all, it's partly based on, almost totally based on, a wrong reading of the Girsah in Pri Etz Chaim of the Ari. There it says, Yom Shemet Rashbi. It's the day Rashbi died. But in all the manuscripts, and in all the other publications, that means there may be 30 publications of Pri Etz Chaim, in all of them, it reads Yom Simchat, not Yom Shemet. In other words, the letter Het in one publication was left out and it became Yom Shemet and people took it literally. But really it doesn't even make sense to anyone who reads it there. The whole group of those lines don't make sense because of this mistake. So it's not something that we can build upon, but unfortunately the power of publicity won over the power of total truth, and this is what's become accepted in the world today. In fact, the whole option of saying that the reason that we are happy on Lag BaOmer is because it's the Hilulah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai contradicts the words of the Gemara and the words of the Shulchan Aruch, where we see that on the days of the great people who died from our people, like Nadav Avihu, Shmuel and Avi, Moshe Rabbeinu, we make them days of fasting and mourning, not days of simcha and happiness. This is a new concept that people have introduced, that there's such a concept that the Yortzeit of a tzaddik should be a day of happiness. It's not a day of happiness, it's a day of sadness. But we have to know that the real reason, as the Ari writes very clearly, it's the day that the Torah Shebe'al Peh was saved for all generations to come by Rabbi Akiva giving smicha to his 5 new students. The Chida, of course, holds this opinion very strongly, the Ben Ish Chai as well. And the Ben Ish Chai writes at the end of his book, Hilulah Rabbah, which is on the topic of Lag BaOmer. He says that since the Simcha is the Simcha of Rabbi Akiva and his 5 students, so those who can, on the day of Lag BaOmer, to visit on the way, to go to Tiberias, to Rabbi Akiva's grave, and then to go to the grave of Rabbi Azhar and Rabbi Meir Balanes. As many of these graves of the 5 students with their Rebbe that can be visited on that day, they should be visited, because all of them, it's their day of happiness, that the Torah was saved through them. But still we have to explain, if so, why is the whole concept of Lag BaOmer mainly connected to Rashbi, to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? It should be Rabbi Akiva and all the other 5 students, the other 4 students. So we can say that by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai there was an additional aspect, that he revealed the secrets of the Torah. And since Am Yisrael know that it says in the Zohar, with the merit of those rabbis who study the secrets of Torah, the Mashiach is going to come. This fact is so powerful that the Hatam Sofer, when he eulogized those who died in the earthquake, which was about 150 years ago, or a bit more maybe, in the Galil, in the north of Israel, in Tzfat, and other areas in the north, when many hundreds of people died, many of them were Hachamim and great rabbis, and he eulogized them. And he said in his eulogy, why did Hashem punish these tzaddikim? They gave up their homes in Europe, and they made Aliyah, and they came to live in Eretz Israel. And those who came from Middle East countries, they all sacrificed a lot to be in Israel, in the Holy Land. So why were they punished? So the Hatam Sofer says, because by going to live in Tzfat and Tiberias, they insulted Yerushalayim. Mipnei elbona shel Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim was not at all, a popular place to come, and everyone went up to the north, and it was an insult for Yerushalayim, so Hashem punished them. So then he asked the question, but just a minute, why did everyone go to the north in the first place? And he answers, because up there, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is buried, the Arizal is buried, and that's why they went up to the north. And I'm asking a big question. How many tzaddikim are buried in Yerushalayim? Anyone who knows the lists of Nevi'im, Tanaim, Amoraim, the greatest Hachamim of all the generations are all buried in Yerushalayim. So if the attracting issue is the fact that Kivrei Tzaddikim, in Yerushalayim you have 100 times more of great Gedolim and earlier Gedolim. So why did they go after Rashbi and the Arizal? So we can answer it according to what we just said before. The Hachamim of the later generations knew that since the Torah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and the Arizal, which is the secrets of the Kabbalah, of the hidden secrets of the Torah, is what's going to bring us eventually the Mashiach. So they felt a special draw and attraction towards these graves more than any other graves. Anyhow, we learn from all of this, number one, how we have to be very careful to love our brethren, like Rabbi Akiva himself said, he didn't say it's a very important ruling to have good midot. No, he said klal gadol b'Torah. If you want the Torah to be successful and that we don't lose the Hachamim, we must have Ahavat Israel. So that's what we have to learn from this horrific punishment which came upon those 24,000 students. And then we have to learn that when there is love and harmony and respect among the Hachamim, so they're blessed with more Torah. It says in one place in the Zohar that once the students of Rishon Bar Yochai came into him to learn, and he saw them all happy together and with full of friendship and love. And he said, you should know the reason why we have the permission now to reveal the secrets of the Torah is because of the love and the happiness among the students. That since they respect one another and happy with one another, this is what brings more and more blessings of Torah. So if we can strengthen ourselves in Klal Gadol b'Torah, a great rule in the Torah, which is love of our fellow Jews, which will bring more and more Torah, and we learn Torah as much as we can and as well as we can, for the sake of Torah, with no ulterior motives, we can be sure that the merit of Torah will be with us, and especially on this great day of Matan Torah, when the Torah of the oral Torah was accepted totally with love. And not only the revealed sections, even on Lag BaOmer, which commemorates the teachings of Rashbi, which is the secrets of the Torah, this was now a complete Torah, Pshat, Remes, Drus, Sod, and this is what makes it such a happy day, a day of Simcha. It's a day of Torah, all in the honor of the oral and tradition, which is all that we have in our lives to be with us till the Mashiach comes.